Good morning, awesome Facebook Live people. We're live for Wake Up Wednesday. Who's hopping on today? We're a little bit early. I've been moving all my stuff around, so I'm not quite situated. Alright. How has y'all's week been? Mine's been crazy busy, still packing. See all the boxes. Finally got our room done, and the living room, and the playroom, and the kitchen. Still have to do some of the kitchen today, but hey, Mom. So, yeah. What have you guys been up to? Put down in the comments what you've been up to since last week when we talked. How's y'all's week been? I'm kind of out of it today. I had a long day yesterday. A lot of talking, and you wouldn't think that that would do much to you, but I had a headache by the time I laid down and went to sleep. So I was going to do a video today about anxiety and stress and depression. I realized I haven't done like a real video specifically for that since I'd made my first big video, and I know that not everybody watched my first video. Hi, Tammy. So I wanted to do a video on that, but then when I was getting ready this morning, my guides were talking to me, and they were like, you know, use what you've done this week. So I've been talking to some friends a lot this week about, and some clients about, self-awareness and communication. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that today. I actually think self-awareness is something that a lot of us lack, and I think an even bigger problem with it is it's something that we're not really teaching our kids. I think we're teaching our kids, and if you have kids, you can relate. If you're a teacher, if you have nieces or nephews or little neighborhood kids. So I don't think we're teaching them much self-awareness. I think we're teaching them how to act, how to be, what to say, what to do, when they can do it, when they can't do it, when it's time to go to bed, when it's time to eat. I mean, that's a lot to be dictating for one person, and then they get frustrated, and we yell at them for being frustrated. And one thing I've always tried to make sure that I did was teach my kids self-awareness. And I think it gets lost somewhere because we as adults even lack a bit of self-awareness. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Starting off, one of the first things I do with my kid, and I'm not tailoring this video just to people who have children. This can be applied to any of us. We can do this stuff too, but the way I'm going to explain it is how I do it with my kids. So when my kids are getting rambunctious, when they're getting loud and rowdy and ornery, and we're inside, or we're in a restaurant, or we're in the store or something, and they're just being really loud, I ask my kids, where are you at? And that doesn't mean physically. That doesn't mean, oh, we're in Target, or oh, we're in the car, or oh, we're in the living room on the couch. That means, where are you at right now, yourself? On a level of being really loud, being quiet, being hyper, being relaxed. And my kids will tell me, you know, I'm up here, or I'm right here, or I'm down here. And most of the time when I'm asking them where they're at, it's because they're way up here and they need to come down. So I'll be like, well, you need to bring it down. They'll be like, okay, and they calm down like this. I think a lot of us don't pay attention to where we are in the midst of things, and it doesn't really catch up with us until we're drowning, until, you know, we've got a million things on our plate, or it's put on the back burner because we feel like we have to deal with everything that's going on. We don't have time to look at ourselves and see where we're at. When stress comes up, hi Heather, hey Carolyn, hey Granny, thanks for watching, you guys. If you're not local to me, don't forget to drop in the comments where you're watching from. I've seen a lot of people doing that lately, and it's really exciting to see people say they're from like Cape Town or South Africa or Canada, so that's really neat. Hey Tommy. So anyway, so yeah, we're talking about being self-aware, knowing yourself, knowing what your limits are, knowing how far you can go, knowing, you know, where you're at emotionally, and checking in with yourself. This is something that we should be doing every day, and it it can be a part of meditation. It can be a part of your nighttime routine, just checking in and saying, okay, where am I at now? And throughout the day, when you get frustrated, when somebody cuts you off in traffic, where am I at? We want to stay at a comfortable level. We don't want to, keep going up and down all day. And I know that's, doesn't sound realistic to some people because, we're going to have reactions to the things around us. But I hear a lot of times people say, oh, well, they did this, so it made me feel this way. And I think I talked about this in a video or two ago, that nobody can make you feel a way. Somebody can do something to you, but you choose how you feel. And checking in with yourself is the first step in controlling how you're feeling. If somebody does something that upsets you, whether it's in traffic or it's personal, and you check in with yourself, all right, where am I at? Am I really frustrated? Am I really mad? Okay, why? Why am I mad? Because that guy cut me off? Then even then I go into it further and start to think, well, I wonder why they cut me off. Maybe they're in a hurry. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they're just an asshole. That doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm not going to let it ruin my day. I check in with myself a lot when I'm dealing with my kids, because sometimes they can be angels and they can be thick as thieves and they can get along all weekend, and then sometimes they're like cats and dogs and they're just going at it, and I am up to here, like the pot is whistling and the steam is coming out of my ears and I've had enough and I can't take it anymore, and I have to step out. Go out on the porch or go into my room for a minute and tell my kids, I need a minute. You need to sit here. You need to stop. And I need to check in with myself. Where am I at? If I'm way up here, they're going to be feeling that. Everybody around me is going to be feeling that. Everybody that I come in contact with, my husband, when he comes home, I'm probably going to end up snapping at him. He's going to feel the frustration. And the kids can, and they feed off that. There's a study that has been done that talks about the power of energy and talk. Okay, so I do this checking in with myself a lot before I talk to somebody, especially if I'm feeling frustrated. And the study says, they have two exact plants that are the same, potted the same way. One, and it's a controlled experiment, one they speak to with negative words and they're ugly and they're, they just say really mean things to the plant. The other plant, they say a lot of positive stuff and give it positive energy. And the positive plant grows so much more beautifully than the other one just kind of gets wilty and doesn't grow well. And if that's not a testament to the fact that energy is real and our words are so powerful, is so important. So the first half of my video right now, I'm talking about self-awareness. I'm going to translate that into communication. But right now I'm talking about how checking in with ourselves can avoid a whole domino effect of negative energy. When you talk to somebody, even if they've been negative to you, you have to check in with yourself and see where that's put you. Put yourself back where you want to be and then respond. Don't give someone the power to decide what's going to come out of your mouth. Don't give someone the power to decide how you're going to react. If you're not checking in with yourself and making a decision on how you're going to respond to somebody or something that's happened to you, then you don't even have control of yourself. You don't even have control over, and how scary is that comment? You don't even have control over the way you react to people. Somebody is controlling that in you. Hey, Ron. Hey, Dylan. So it's so important to be checking, hey Ethan, to be checking in with yourself and know that you are in control of what you're doing and how you're responding. If I come up to you in the grocery store and I'm like, your shirt is stupid, and I know that's like the smallest thing. I'm not good at being mean, but I don't know. If I came up to somebody and like called them a nasty name or something, if they respond negatively back to me, I created that. I caused that. I was the one that chose to do that. If they're not checking in with her. Now, if you check in with yourself and say, no, I'm going to tell this person off, I'm going to be mean back, that's on you, and that's a whole different video. But I believe that most people want to be nice and spread positivity, and when you react with love and positiveness to negativeness and to somebody being mean to you, it sets a whole different domino effect. Do you want to be in the line of people that are continuing to spread hate, or do you want to be in the line that 360s that and causes a positive effect? If maybe that person, if you just respond one time with kindness, even though they're being so mean to you, they're going to be like, whoa, wait a minute, why was she nice to me? And they're going to second guess the way they reacted to you, or the way they acted to you, because of the way you reacted. But you can't give that person the power to choose how you're going to react by not checking in with yourself first and deciding, when my kids are going haywire in the house, I have the option to check in with myself, bring myself down below where they're at because they are like way up here, and respond with calmness. And I'm not perfect, you guys. I'm not preaching that I'm perfect, because I definitely have my moments where I'm like, would you just stop it? Like, and freak out. And then I feel so bad after. Who here is a parent? Give me like a hands up or a thumbs up or something, and tell me if you're a parent. Because I want to know how many times you've gone to bed and been so upset with yourself for the way you handled something with your kids. It's the worst feeling ever, because at this point, they're sound asleep. They're these sweet little angel beings, like drooling on their pillow and their little tiny hands and their little tiny feet, and all you can think about is how you screamed at them for something that really didn't need to be screamed about, but their energy was way up here, and you did not check in with yourself, so you let your energy get way up here and you exploded, when all of that can have been avoided by just checking in with yourself, bringing yourself down, and reacting the way you want to. And it's hard. I know it's hard. It's so difficult, and I'm not just talking about with kids, so if you're not a parent, apply this to people in general. You know, maybe you went off on somebody in the store and then later on you felt like shit. That's even worse, I think, because you can't even apologize to that person next day. They're a stranger. I apologize to my kids all the time in the morning. I'm like, I'm so sorry, Mommy was yelling at you last night. You know, I really didn't mean it. And then my son comes out with the heartbreaking, like, he's such an old soul. It's okay, Mommy, you were just doing your job. And then I'm like crying even more, and we're both crying. It's a big mess. But it can be avoided if you just check in with yourself and realize where you're at, where you want to be. Bring it down, and they're going to follow suit because they're going to feed off that energy, and you're going to respond to them with, hey guys, where are you at? Oh, we're way up here. You need to bring it down. And then they bring it down, and nobody's upset. Nobody goes to bed crying. Nobody's regretting their evening, and you get to start the next day on a good note and not be upset for the way you acted. Let's see what some other people have said. Heather is putting her hands up. Mom says, oh yes. Heather says, numerous times, it's a horrible feeling. Tommy says, I have a general rule when I'm feeling frustrated with G, which is her husband. I know I can either escalate it or diffuse it. I'll kiss him on the forehead and tell him I love him. That is great. Have you guys seen these protesters that go out and, like, I saw a video the other day, and I'm not getting into a race battle thing, but I saw a video the other day with this African-American guy went to this neo-Nazi rally, and this Nazi guy was, like, screaming in his face and telling me he hated him, and the guy was like, why do you hate me? And the Nazi didn't have an answer, and he just hugged him, and apparently it, like, transcended this Nazi's mindset from there on out, and now he's, like, an anti-Nazi advocate, and, like, it changed his whole life just for somebody giving him love and positivity instead of reacting with the negative emotion that he was giving. Like, we have the power to do that for good and to not let people make us react negatively when we don't want to, and that's not who we are. The second part of this... Okay, yeah, we got plenty of time. It's only been 10 minutes. The second part of this is communication, okay? I'm leading into this because I think it's really important in the same sense of being aware of yourself. When somebody's talking to you, or when you're talking to somebody, and you're trying to relay a point, you're trying to tell somebody how they've made you feel, or how they're acting. Maybe you're having an argument with somebody and you're trying to tell them how they're acting. Using what I call knee-jerk quotes, like calling people a name, you know, calling them a bitch, calling them stupid, telling somebody, you know, you're being annoying, or, you know, anything like that. That doesn't explain anything. Those little knee-jerk phrases can mean a plethora of things, depending on who you are or what the context is. It can mean so many different things. And when you're communicating with somebody and you're trying to explain how they've made you feel, you can't, once you check in with yourself and you bring yourself to where you want to be and you're ready to talk about it, you can't respond to them with these knee-jerk comments because it doesn't explain anything. You have to tell them how they made you feel, why they made you feel that way, what they did to make you feel that way, what they've been doing that's upsetting, specific instances. Because if you just go out spewing a bunch of hateful words and, calling somebody a bunch of hateful names, all that's going to do is hurt the other person and push more negativity into the conversation. And then they're going to come back defensive and being negative to you. You're not going to get anywhere. One of my clients this week and some other people in my life I was talking to about this week, and that's why I decided to change my video today from anxiety and depression to communication and spreading positivity. Because if you guys are all here watching, obviously you either just like the way I talk or you have some belief system in spiritualism and metaphysics, okay? And the biggest thing that spiritualism and metaphysics revolves around is energy. Positive energy, negative energy. Positive and negative. And you can choose what you spread. And positive energy is going to be maybe stronger than the negative energy, maybe not. But you have the power to choose which one you're going to respond with. And I'm trying to think of how else I can put it. Okay, here's an analogy. If you're in a conflict with somebody and they're being negative, so you're going to be negative back, and you're sitting at home and you're thinking, why is all this negativity around me? Why is it always negative? Why is it always drama? Why is it always bashing people? Why can't we just get along? Well, think about negative energy as blue water, like food coloring, like blue water. And positive energy is red water. If you have a cup full of blue water, and all you do is add more blue water to the cup, and they add more blue water to the cup, and you add more blue water to the cup's always going to have blue water. It's never going to change. It's always going to be blue water because that's all you're putting in it. But the second you put some red water in it, the water is going to spread, and the color is going to change. They might put more blue water in, so it dilutes it a little bit. You go ahead and put more red water in, and then put some more red water in, and a little bit more red water. Eventually, it's going to change the whole water. It's going to change all the energy around you. You can't change what kind of water they have. You can't change what color water they're putting into the cup. But you can change what kind of water is in the cup that you have to be around. You don't have to be around his cup. You're sharing this one cup. Okay? If you don't change what you're doing, it's always going to be the same. If you don't change the energy that's around you, yourself, and it's hard because a lot of people don't want to be the bigger person first. They're like, well, they were nasty with me, so I'm going to keep being nasty with them. Well, then enjoy the nasty negative energy around you. I don't know what to say. If you want that positive change and you want to be aware of yourself, and you don't want to be negative, then you have to make the choice to go inward and check where you're at. Are you being positive or negative? Which do you want to be? And add your positivity to the situation. Eventually, it's going to change. It's going to make a domino effect. Energy is contagious. It's ongoing. It never stops. It never goes away. And if negative energy can be contagious, then obviously positive energy can be contagious. And we have to check in with ourselves and realize where we're at. And watch our words and know what we're saying to people, and we have to explain it and use verbiage that really is not just adjective words. You can't just tell somebody how you feel. You have to tell them why you feel that way, what they did, what's making you feel that way. Otherwise, nobody's going to know what's going on. Does that make sense, you guys? I think I just rambled for like 6 minutes. But that's my soapbox today. You guys, my soapbox today is check in with yourself and spread positivity. Because nobody should be able to control the way you respond. Nobody should be able to control the way you react. Nobody should be able to control the energy that you put off. And if you're responding negatively because somebody else did, then they're controlling that. But you can do the same by choosing to respond with positive energy and positive words and love instead of hate and negative energy and being nasty. That's That's my thing today. Next week, we are going to talk about stress, anxiety, and depression. It's going to be a pretty big video. I'm going to try to sum it up in my 20-minute time frame, because I really want people to watch it from beginning to end. The basis of what I do in our business is metaphysical counseling, and it's all about anxiety and depression and stress. And I really, really, really want you guys to tune in next week and share the video, and know that it's really important what I have to say next week. Not that the other stuff isn't as important, but it's a message I really want to get across. I wanted to get this out there first and know that I've explained to you guys how powerful words can be and emotions, and how all of that can be controlled with just checking in with yourself and seeing where you're at and doing what you need to do to get to the place that holds the energy that you want to give off. Put yourself where you want to be, so there's no regret, so you're not wishing you had responded differently. I mean, we're not perfect. We're all going to make mistakes, and we're all going to respond with frustration now and then. Excuse me, but the more you practice it, the more it's going to come second nature for you to just pause. Where are you at? And then spread that energy. You have the opportunity and the potential to control the energy around you in a positive way, and you have the potential to create it in a negative way. So make sure you use that cautiously and intentionally, and make sure you're doing that with purpose, because it can be dangerous if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. We all have this power inside of us to spread the energy that's around us, and we really need to be aware of what we're doing and what energy we're spreading around. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed the video. I will talk to you guys next week. We're going to talk about anxiety and depression and stress, so please tune in. Feel free to share this video. Feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to make sure you are following the page so you get all the notifications, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye, y'all.